the franchise, but
Mm-hmm.
too long. Especially, again, watered down, didn't they? They tried to make too much out of something that could have been made to a lot shorter. It could have been
Sure.
two movies, definitely. There was too much going on for it to be any less than two movies. But off the Lord of the Rings, just the Terminator franchise in itself. There's so much of a juicy story that you could make one movie, say Dark Fate, like now, and then see how it goes. And then if people want more and it goes well, they can easily sit in that writer's room again and crack on, like they did with, right, we'll wipe off the rest and we'll carry on from T2. Easily done. We could do it, but so I do fear they keep trying to do a trilogy in one sitting.
Well, and I'm not even sure, and we'll get to the next question here in just a second, but I'm not even sure if they had any plans after T2 to make another movie directly. But the way that it ended, it was like it could be the last Terminator movie, or they could be setting it up for another one, and the audience was completely satisfied. They could do Dark Fate in such a way, obviously I haven't seen it, to where it's the same thing. Does the ending satisfy the story? Yes, 100%. Could they make another movie off of that? Yes, they most certainly could. If they went that route and didn't worry about it, I think things would be fine. And they're, again, less pressure on themselves and the studio.
Agreed.
Well, let's get to the next question here on Second Strike, Chapter 2, Upside Down 6, Upside Down 9, your Robo producer. And we have Edward Balint. He says, I'm nervous about the first wave of movie reviews for Dark Fate. These will be critical to the movie's success. Are you worried that they are going to stifle the way that the movie is going to be projected?
Yes.
I am too. And I think a lot of that, again, comes back to the negativity from some of the larger channels. They've already subjected that, and now people that don't follow channels perhaps a lot, like Upside Down 6, they're a little worried. And I'm not going to lie, that is a little scary.
Yeah, it's happened all through the production and filming and post-production of the movie, from picture one, not trailer one. They've had no excuse, from picture one, photograph one, basically letting us know. I think it even, because I don't do social media, but I think the first image was done on Twitter. I think it was a Twitter thing, and then it went onto YouTube. And these big channels absolutely destroyed it. Turned it into this big sexism, Ghostbusters, blah 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 thing. So any one of these hater channels that have made their mind up already, you're going. Let's put it this way. My example is, if I'm in a bad mood and someone texts me, I read it in a negative way. If I'm in a bad mood and I see something, I see it in a negative way. So if I've decided that something's shit already, they're not going to look at all the positives. They're going to look for every plot hole or every negative aspect of the movie. So expect negative reviews from these big channels, because they're pricks, and expect it to damage the moving forward of this movie.
And even if there's not any loopholes or not anything negative to be about, it's almost like they're going to create it just for the hype and the buzz.
That's the one. They'll create it. They'll find something.
Let's get to another.
So I'm fearful of it.
I'm fearful of it too, because I think it started the negativity for this has started so much earlier than the film, before the film's even out. I think there's already been damage done, and hopefully a lot of the positivity that your channel and other channels like yours can spin, it'll get it back in the other direction. But it's discouraging, and I wish there was a lot less of it out there.
Yeah, because like I think you said at the beginning of the question, some people go on YouTube or they see an advert on Google, because a lot of people go to Google and then Google leads them to YouTube. They're not even subscribed to people. So they'll see something negative on Google, which leads them to a YouTube channel, and then they watch the bullshit on a YouTube channel about anything.
And then they say, why do I want to even bother with this movie? It's obviously crap because I'm reading these reviews and they're not good, or this guy doesn't think it's great for this reason. I won't go bother to see it. And now suddenly, you've taken away from the success of this film, which is probably good. It's just you're not being, given exactly what you want, so you're going to hate on it.
Do you know how many films I've seen that, in fact, let's put it this way, right? A lot of films I've seen have had negative reviews, and I've thought were brilliant. And it's not because I thought, not because I'm fucking slow in the head or anything like that. I thought they were brilliant. It's the negative reviews from people that have just made their mind up before they went in the door. Really bad. It's so easy to be stifled just by watching one thing. You're a busy person, not a normal person, but you've just seen an advert for Terminator Dark Fate. You then jump onto this big channel that's got 500,000 subscribers, so that must be a trusted channel. Oh, he said it's shit. It must be.
What's funny is it's exactly the opposite, man. I find that the more I hunt out there, and there are actually a couple of really big channels that I enjoy on other films. Like there's one called Star Wars Theory. He's pretty huge, and I like all the stuff that he puts up there. And he's very positive. So it's not to knock all the big channels, but I find like a lot of your smaller channels have a more fair, a more positive, and a more clear-cut open-mindedness about the way that a film or a franchise is going to be than some of your larger channels that, you read their titles and it's clickbait. How many likes can I get? How many subscribers can I get? And instead of have it being about the enjoyment of the movie.
And you hear about these big channels that were small and they used to be positive, but what they've done is they've worked out that the formula is be negative because it creates people click on negativity for some goddamn weird reason.
It's just like the mainstream media. It's like the mainstream media, your cable TV networks. Why isn't there a news network out there that focuses on all the positivity? Because it doesn't sell. That's the only reason.
He took the words out of my mouth. Negativity sells. You see the blue lights down the road and the street cordoned off. What do? You go to it. You don't run to someone's barbecue that you can smell, do you? Because you go and look for what's happening. What's that bad thing that's just happened? And people click on that. And these channels that start off doing all the positive stuff eventually, I'm afraid, end up negative. And you can quote me on this. That ain't me.
I would rather, and I know you are like this, so I'm not even worried about your channel or mine, but I would rather stay a small channel, medium-sized channel forever, stay true to myself, my opinion, and being positive than to get tremendous success. And that, you know what, I can get the success, but all I got to do is I got to spin things in a more negative. I don't want to do that. I don't want to ever do that.
Well, you can never corner me in honesty and being loyal, because I stay honest and loyal, so I ain't got to worry about what my last opinion was.
Yep.
Yeah, sometimes on a live session I might theorize and change my mind slightly on something. I'm on a live session, but remember this: people that are because there's people listening to me now, looking for something to pull me up on. To do it on Reddit all the time, they make me laugh. Oh yeah, but he said this at minute 18 for whatever. It was a live session, but I don't make negative videos about something I love. I just don't do it. I might on a live session say something negative, only slightly, but I don't then go, oh, I'll make a video and clickbait that. Never.
If you love something that much, Six, and I know you and I both love Terminator, but no matter what it is, if you love a movie that much, there's no reason to be negative about it. You love the franchise for the franchise, even T3, which everybody hates, or not everybody, kind of disassociates it from the franchise. Do I do the same thing? Yes. Is it a horrible movie? It's actually pretty entertaining. It's just probably my least favorite of the Terminator films.
Genesis, that's the one that gets the most shit, I think, and it's just come on Netflix now. I've watched it twice because I like it. It's the Terminator movie.
That's right.
So But there's been negative, being damn right, just negative for clicks, and then there's being critical and
Yep.
having a critical, you can, what's it called? Constructive. That's it. Constructive criticism. We can all
Oh
do
yeah.
that. That's fine. But being negative for the sake of negativity because it gets you views for something you apparently love is bang out of order.
Yeah, let's one more thing before we get to the next question, and we will move on. But it's even possible this movie Dark Fate will come out. You and I will absolutely love it. I'll give it 10 out of 10. Cyberdyne model number 101's way up, and there might be one or two or three things in the movie that I'm like, you know what, the movie was great and I loved it, but that they didn't need to be there. I'm still going to be critical of every part of the movie because I love the franchise that much, but I'm not going to hate on it for those few reasons.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, oh gosh, the amount of things you hear, it's the border, they're doing the border crossing thing
Mm-hmm.
because of what's your president? Trump. That's it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The border, they're putting the wall up and all. It's like, get a grip, man. What is the natural progression of Sarah Connor being a terrorist that blew up a blooming multi-billion-dollar whatever
Exactly.
corporation? She's a terrorist. She had to flee to blooming, whether you liked it or not, whether Trump was on about that or not, whether there was any political agenda or not.
She's a terrorist.
She had to go, didn't she? She had to leave the country. It's that
Yep.
simple.
That's right.
So she had to be over there wherever. So, yeah. For Sarah Connor to be involved in the movie and Sarah Connor to naturally be near the new resistance leader, shall we say, because to be near Danny Ramos, they had to be in the same country, didn't they? So it's just natural progressions and also making an easy, simple story flow.
That's again, it gets back to being simple, and we're going to get back to the questions. Icebreaker says right here on Second
Who
Strike
said that?
Icebreaker.
How dare he ask questions? Did
I
he
know.
dare ask questions on live session?
And it's a big one. It's a big question.
Okay, I'm only joking, Icebreaker. Crack on.
Here we go. He says, watching all the trailers, teasers, and new bits, I get the feeling that Tim Miller is kind of literally copying some scenes from T2. Are you with me on this? I don't think he is. I think maybe tiny bits and pieces because he wants to get maybe some of the same feeling. But when it comes
nostalgia.
It's nostalgia. And you need that. You need to have that nostalgia because people love T2. People love Terminator 1. So are you going to want bits and pieces? I think that's kind of a no-brainer. Is he going to steal anything big? No. They're going to be very creative with this film.
Yeah, it's not going to be. There'll be moments where you'll just think, "Oh, look at that! That's like what happened in T2." And what that'll do is that'll pull you more in. And
that's right.
Make embrace what the movie is. It'll be not stealing from T2, but it'll make you connect to it more, like adding a few more stitches to it.
For instance, and I know I'm guessing you feel the same way on this. I've heard some negative about it, but not much. I love the scene when they're on the bridge. Sarah's there. She's got her glasses on. She's looking badass. She takes the grenade, throws it over the bridge, says, "I'll be back." You see the explosion. I instantly started thinking about Terminator 2 from that moment. It was just awesome.
I instantly grinned. I loved it. How dare anyone say that "I'll be back" can't be put in the movie? It's a pissing Terminator movie. We need "I'll be back" in there, and maybe someone else saying it. Big deal. I'd rather Linda Hamilton say it or Arnie say it than any of the other characters, in all fairness. So Linda saying it, brilliant.
I don't care who says it. I don't care who says it because I'll tell you what. I know you're not the hugest Star Wars fan, but there's always great analogies, so I always love bringing it back in. One of the key Star Wars lines that's in, I think, every Star Wars movie but one, they always say, "I've got a bad feeling about this." And there's always somebody different saying it, but you expect it from the movie. So to have Sarah say it, I actually think it's kind of fitting. I actually enjoyed hearing it come out of her mouth.
So in Star Wars that someone always says, "I've got a bad feeling about this."
Oh yeah, and everybody, it's like you when you heard it and you grinned. when people hear I've got a really bad feeling about this, you grin from ear to ear because you didn't expect it. Somebody new said it, and it's just it's a Star Wars movie. So when you hear I'll be back, it's a Terminator movie.
Yeah, and why not? Why Sarah Connor not say that? Remember, the T-800 protecting her son said that to her once.
Yep.
I'll be back. So
it's almost come full circle, hasn't it?
Yeah. So she's took that on. I'll be back. She's just hammered the Rev 9, not hammered him, but knocked him out of the way for a few seconds. She's feeling a bit confident, bit of bravado. I'll be back. And the way she said it, I loved it. Oh, she's too cocky. No, she's been dealing with this shit all her life. She's just battle hardened. I loved it.
And we have one more question, then I'll let you make some final comments on the new footage that's been out, because I know that's hit and I have not seen that yet. Sean Phillips actually chimed in with one more that we missed two of his questions.
Who said that?
Sean Phillips.
Are these people are they asking questions without actually asking permission from the leaders of Bunker 1 and Bunker 2 in San Diego and Lincoln?
Yeah, they did not actually get the proper authorization. I think there's a court-martial in order here 6.
I think we're going to have words with these guys.
Especially Sean Phillips, because this is going to be his second demerit. This is unexcusable.
Damn. I'll tell you what, I bet he's been drinking on duty.
No, probably. Okay, Sean, we're going to answer this question, but after this second strike, we're going to have a word with you. Is this the last Terminator installment, or is there more to follow? Again, this is why you and I just had the short conversation with, should they have planned a trilogy in their heads, or should they have just said, you know what, let's see how this movie does? Because that's the answer to this question. We don't really know unless this movie's a success. There won't be another one.
Well, movie predictions have gone up for it. It's doing a lot better. So it's going to make roughly between 45-50 million opening weekend, which is good, really good.
Sure.
I think it's going to go mental worldwide because they've got 10 Cents Productions, which is, forgive me if I get it wrong, but it's either Chinese or Japanese. And forgive me, I can't remember. I think it's Chinese anyway.
Okay.
Production company. Korea, they're selling it. India are selling it. It's gone worldwide, this one, and it's going to make a lot of money. I believe, quote me on this one as well, 550 million by the time we're done.
Yeah, that's some very good figures. And we've seen, and there was no American version of it, which baffled me, but there was a Russian version of the trailer, which visually, and some of it wasn't in English, so I didn't understand it, but visually, the trailer was outstanding.
Yeah, and that was overdubbed as well, so that wasn't even the proper sound effects or the voiceovers. That wasn't the proper score. That was overdubbed, and that looked awesome. So, and that's Russian. So and people picked up on all that and they loved it, yeah, and they're loving it. Like I said in some of my videos, the first trailer will get forgiven. Tim Miller, when he apparently said these sexist quotes, got forgot about suddenly, didn't it? The big channels picked up on it the day he said some apparent, and I've got my fingers up, quotations, yeah.
Yep.
Apparent sexist quotes. We've forgot about all that now, haven't we? Yeah, because everything's being forgiven because the movie looks awesome and it's going to do really, really well. We are going to get a T7 because the money will be there.
I think most likely, and so there you go, Sean. That you've had your question answered. There most likely will be a T7. We got to wait and see. But again, when you get the nostalgia crew in there, you got your John Connor, Sarah Connor, you got Cameron back behind the helm, you got Arnie back in there, with the additions of Gabriel Luna and the rest of the crew. In my mind, I'm not a betting man, but if I were a betting man, I would put some serious money on the fact that this is going to be a smash at the box office, and we're going to get a T7 and a T8.
Yeah, Gabriel Luna as well. A lot of them know him for the Ghost. Is it Ghost Rider? Something like that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I've never ever seen it, but he's got quite a following for that. But
I'll
what
tell
I'm
you what.
seeing with the Rev 9,
Originally, 6. I'm a huge T1000 fan. Most awesome Terminator in my mind still to existence. And originally, when I saw the first trailer, I had to give it a couple of views. Still wasn't sold on it. It's like, nah, they're trying to replace Robert Patrick. Not gonna like this. The more I see, this Rev unit is going to give the T1000 a run for its money. It looks incredible.
it's the cockiness, the characteristics of it, its behaviour, everything about that. You seen the claws it makes as well.
That above all, this thing is fierce. The claws this thing makes, this thing has tentacles and can move on the ground like so quick, and it's got that liquid metal property. It's pretty indestructible.
Have you seen the documentaries about how humans, and this is talking in real life, non-fiction, so real life documentaries of how we're creating and developing better technologies by taking a closer look at nature, so waterproof properties and just basically everything in nature. How we make it. Who was it? Boston Dynamics. They're building machines that resemble dogs and stuff like that. And this is how the Rev 9. It looks like Legion has seen that the clunky human form isn't as effective as nature's best movers, which is obviously movers, grippers, killers, which is claws, moving like a, shall we say, hyena, a cat, and whatever. And nature's most deadliest, it's all combined into this, obviously, human form to infiltrate, but also then it can swap and turn and its limbs move in an animal form to make it quicker.
Well, that's great because it's taken this information. It gives you those animalistic qualities that are going to make it a more effective hunter, a more effective killer, and it still has that humanoid form of the original Terminators. It's unbelievable. It's taken the Terminator units to the next level. I'm very excited. I'm very impressed by what we've seen so far, and I already know that they're still holding something back. There's things about this Rev 9 we have not seen yet that are going to blow everybody's minds.
There's we know it combines and splits. We know it's got claws and it can pounce like a I don't know what best creature to say, a cat. Like a cat, because cats can jump up walls and stuff, can't they? This Rev 9 can. It's insane how it moves. But we're still not seeing the full picture. This is going to be a next down. T1000, I'm sorry, as much as you are legendary, you're going to have to move over, I think, after this.
Yeah, and I am the hugest Robert Patrick T1000 fan. Obviously, I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm a lot more open to and being a lot more amazed by the additional footage we're seeing of the Rev 9. It's an incredible unit, maybe the most deadly in the entire franchise.
And you're in for a treat when you hunt and stalk down the latest spots that have been out as well.
Well, I have to
some of them, haven't you? Because you've been working. So
yeah. Well, I have to tell you, I'm excited about this. We have answered a few of the questions in the last 2 minutes because I know we wanted to shorten this one up, and it's difficult when we have so much to talk about here on Second Strike. But let's now that you've seen the additional footage in the last 90 seconds, 2 minutes that we have together here, Six. Are you impressed? Is there anything new that maybe we haven't seen, or is it just more of what we're getting? Extensions on footage we've already seen, and it's just making it a little bit better each time, extending a few seconds in both directions.
I think we're going to get the T800 by looking at the clips, endoskeleton fighting alongside either Danny or Sarah Connor, depending who's still alive, because it looks like carnage, but the skin gets burnt off, and the Rev 9 skin isn't flammable, so it's got to be Carl, the T800. So I think we're getting we're getting a T800, In fact, yeah, thinking about it more, looking at the footage back in my head, it's also got one arm, part of an arm missing, so it's definitely going to be Carl.
Yeah.
So we're getting the endoskeleton alongside Sarah Connor. So Sarah Connor that tried to get away from that endoskeleton in T1 is going to be battling with alongside it as a team pal.
Which is just an incredible sight. We keep bringing it up, but that is something that I think brings the movie full circle. It really is going to be I think it's going to be the wow moment of the film. There's going to be two wow moments. There's going to be the John Connor revelation. I think we're going to get it, that John is still alive, still the leader. And the second wow moment is going to be Sarah, even if it's for 2 seconds, standing next to the endoskeleton Carl T-800 unit. It's going to look badass. There's no way around it.
They shouldn't have, talking about wild moments though, they shouldn't have, and I agree with exactly what you say, but you know when you get things in your head, you've got to get it out, especially when your head's hurting. They shouldn't have revealed the acquisition of Danny in the factory. Have you seen that yet?
I had no that I have seen, and I completely agree with you. I think that was just a little too much. That's something I would have liked to have been surprised about.
Yeah, the Rev 9 basically landing in the same neighborhood or basically doorstep. It looks to me near enough.
Oh yeah, where like
you and I
have said in the past, the other Terminators have had a more strategic. Hey, how do we acquire John? How do we acquire Sarah, excuse me. You see Gabriel Luna land right at the front door, just as you said, and it's game on from the get-go.
Internet age, though, I think, so that's why they obviously in Google Maps and whatever. So that's the age of landing on the doorstep. But what they shouldn't have shown is the acquisition in the factory. That should have been left for us to enjoy the kick-off, because now we know what to expect, and they always do it, don't they? Terminator movies always do it in the trailers. They always give something too much away.
Well, it was just, I mean, that's not quite as bad. The one that really bothered me, because it was actually the big reveal of the film, was the Genesis trailer, where it's like, okay, guess what? Yeah, John's a bad guy. John's a Terminator. I'm like, that was just spoilerific.
Yeah, that ruined the film, because it's not like that is revealed at the very beginning of the movie in Genesis. It's like, what, 30 minutes in?
Yeah.
So they've then ruined the whole. It's like, why did you do that? But I know the acquisition of Danny is going to be at the beginning, so I think they've revealed that, in the factory. But I just thought, it'd have been nice to actually not have seen that. They've given enough away already. Maybe if I was making the trailer anyway, I'd have had probably the Rev 9 knocking at the door, the dad doing the stare where he's like, oh, who's this? Because he looks a bit worried, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then left it at that, not then Grace acquiring the Rev 9 and it, giving that scene away. I'd have just left it there. But oh well, they seem to think they know what they're doing, and we've still got 2 hours out of all the trailers. If we add them all up together, we've still got an hour and 50 minutes of film to watch still.
And in a closing comment, what people need to realize too is often in many films, I don't think this is going to be any exception. You're going to get a lot of scenes that they've showed you that either didn't make the cut of the film, or they were exclusively filmed as misdirections, and you're never even going to, it'll be something completely different.
Yeah. So again, this could be to antagonize, it could be to lure you into the film. It's all, and Tim Miller, if you didn't hear this last time, or you've never seen the interview, Tim Miller and Linda Hamilton laugh at how much is given away in Hollywood trailers. So they're up to something, aren't they?
Well, I think they're up to something good, whether it's misdirection or being direct. Again, we're staying positive here on Second Strike, Upside Down 6, Robo producer. And I'm really looking forward to the film, man. We are getting so incredibly close. I can taste it.
Oh God! Well, it's the 12th of
October here, as
my daughter Mackenzie's 14th birthday today, actually.
Oh, happy birthday to her! That's great.
Yeah. So what we on now? 12th. So we have in the UK 11 days to wait. So
Oh man, I'm definitely jealous. I'm going to have to avoid the internet because we get it a little later here
yeah,
in the
November the
States than you do,
1st.
and I don't want
November the 1st, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, and I want no spoilers, so I'll be off the grid, as John Connor says, until I'm able to plop myself into the theater
Well, I
and
must
just.
stress that Upside Down 6 will not be spoiling anything until the US has. I'm not going to spoil anything anyway, but I won't be talking spoilers until the US has had their chance to watch it in the cinema. So don't worry about coming to this channel.
Oh, and I already kind of expected that you would kind of pick a date, whatever that has to be, and to say, you know what, okay, the movie's been out long enough now in the U.S. and the U.K., so spoiler warnings if you haven't seen it, don't watch my videos.
Yeah, me anyway. There'll be big red flags in my videos if there's anything that goes further than what people need to know. So don't worry about that.
Well, we have had an awesome live session wrap up with Second Strike here on Second Strike Chapter 2. Went fabulous as always, Six. The time flew by, and we could, go 2 hours very easily on each of these sessions. So
it's easy, isn't it? It's good fun.
Super easy. I'm very excited that we're doing this. I hope you continue your recovery, man. I hope you're back up to full speed soon.
Yeah, man. We'll get more questions in next time as well. But when you get into the chatting and the stuff, it goes, doesn't it? But we'll try and squeeze more in. I think we'll make a rule of more questions. But Second Strike, it's chapter 2 of Second Strike, so
yeah.
the second week. So we're just practicing, aren't we? But thank you for everyone that listens.
Yeah, we really we couldn't do Second Strike. We couldn't do the traffic that we do on Upside Down 6 and Robo Producer channel without everybody that faithfully supports us. We appreciate you all for sure.
Respect. So everyone, this is Upside Down 6 in Bunker 1. Peace out.
And Robo Producer, Upside Down 9 in Bunker 2. Peace out to you guys. And 6, we will see you on the next edition of Second Strike, man. Respect to you, and it's been a pleasure as always, my friend.
Peace out. Enjoyed it, mate.
All right, we'll end it there. Good. I know it went a little long, but man, it's the way we do it,
mate.
Oh yeah. There was no way I wanted to cut it short when we were deep in the weeds there. So it went.
Turn the recording off, mate, so I can deal with it as easy as possible.
All right, here, hang on here.